World War Z on Steam Deck is verified. It's been for a while, and I was actually looking at my older video on the LCD Steam Deck, and it was 11 months ago. Now they released Vegas DLC, and I wanted to check it out. The game is verified on Steam Deck, as you can see. This is the OLED Steam Deck, and they made a few changes for the game verification. One of them is that they no longer allow you to use Vulkan for the game. It only allows you DX11 that has a lot of stuttering and high CPU usage. So in order to use Vulkan, please use this command. This tells the game, hey, this is not a Steam Deck, basically, and we get all the settings available. So let's get into it right away. Sometimes I get this bug, I don't know why, that it's processing Vulkan shaders, and it takes like over 20 minutes, something like that. It only happened to me in this game for some reason. In my case, just skipping it seems to be fine. Doesn't seem to be any differences, but it did it each time I launched the game. It also downloaded the shaders again multiple times, so I'm not sure what's going on. By using that command that I told you, now you can choose between DX11 and Vulkan, otherwise you're stuck on DX11. And why is that important? Well, Vulkan had way better CPU performance, so we can get higher frame rates, uses more video memory, but it allows you to use dynamic resolution and FSR 2.2 if you want to use it. So for animation quality, we put it on default. There's a lot of zombies. And I changed the settings a tiny bit since last time. Details on low. This controls parallax mapping distance, dissolve effect, and geometry. This is important for CPU. TAA, medium post-processing, high shadows. Yeah, believe it or not, medium to high, not much of a performance hit. But visually, it does make a difference, especially when it comes to self-shadows on characters. Lighting on medium, effects on medium, textures on medium. You can also put this on low if you're experiencing crashes, and texture filtering on high. So those are the settings. So I've been playing this game since day one actually, and now we have, it used to have 4 episodes, now we have all the way up to episode 9 Vegas, which is the new one. Alright, so welcome to World War Z Vegas DLC. I start with unlock frame rates as usual, and we're getting 67 at the moment. This is not a demanding part at the moment because zombies are in small numbers. We're going to get to that in a moment. So for settings, my advice is to lower the resolution scale to 85 to 90%. I think 85 is a good, yeah, maybe 90 actually. And why am I not using FSR? Well, in this game I didn't notice much of a difference in performance actually. Visually it's a bit softer, but try it on your own. Dynamic res also didn't work correctly. And some of the settings here, make sure to restart the game after you change them. And before locking the frame rate, let's play with unlock frame rates and see what happens. But of course with the OLED, our frame rates can go up to 90. We have 90 Hz. And right now, as you might say, it's like, okay, it's running pretty well actually. Why use any upscaling whatsoever? Well, the game is just getting started in this part. And there's very few zombies. As you can see, we get 60s, no problem. But it can get pretty demanding in a moment, so let me skip ahead to that section. The thing is, here you get a lot of sand in your face, plus the zombies, so that makes it harder for the GPU and for the CPU when the zombies show up. So what would my advice be? Pretty simple. On the Steam Deck OLED, a 45 FPS cap. I think in this case, 40 is for the LCD Steam Deck, like I showed in the previous video, and 45 for the OLED. You can also lower effects a little bit further. You'll lose screen space reflections, but you should be good. But I think 45 is a necessity on this one, especially for the CPU, and playing on Vulkan. Vulkan makes all the difference. I don't know why on DX11 they force you to use DX11 on Steam Deck. But Vulkan is just so much more stable and less heavy on the CPU that it makes no sense not to use Vulkan, in my opinion. Alright, so now Swarm inbound, so there will be lots of zombies on screen. This part is going to be very CPU limited.
Get ready. Here they come.
And well, we got the zombies, the sandstorm all together. You'll see that the GPU won't be fully utilized at times, and we drop into the low 40s. Well, that's basically the nature of this game. The entire point is that hordes of zombies, Left 4 Dead 2 style, with some small objectives in the middle. And that's my jam. That's what I like. Some of the games that I played the most. Again, I've been playing this since it came out. And it's nice to see more content being poured into it. I'm a huge fan of this game. I also been playing the Horde mode and all that. The Horde mode XL especially, it's the CPU quite a bit as well, but we usually stay into the 40s thanks to Vulkan. On the X11, at least for me, it was a stuttery mess. It was basically impossible, and I don't know why it's verified with the X11 as default. You only need to lower the resolution scale to 90%. I'm playing a mix between medium and low. That's usually how it went well for me. I played this on a plane. You can also play offline. So I think that's a big plus, if you ask me. But yeah, not entirely sure why Vulkan, by default, they don't put it there. At the beginning, when the SteamDeck first came out, and I was trying this game, on Vulkan, when I shot one bullet, for some reason the game crashed, but they fixed it. So I'm not entirely sure why, after the verification system went through, they forced the X11. They said it was for stability, but personally, as you can see right now, Vulkan is super stable. I mean, if you play it on the X11, you're getting nowhere close 40s, consistently at least, and there's way more stutter. So yeah, my advice again is to put that command that I told you at the beginning, and you should be good. You can use Vulkan, you can even use FSR, which in this case I don't think is super helpful because I didn't see much of an improvement on the GPU side. Performance stayed almost the same, but with the manual drop to 90% resolution, which you probably won't notice, that it's a few less pixels, 10% less. On the smaller screen, it holds up just fine. So, yeah, I mean, you can play it very, very well, despite the zombie hordes on screen and all that. Just expect it to be CPU limited when there's a lot of zombies in a bigger part of the map. But if you keep it at 45, you will get drops into the 40s sometimes. While it stays mostly close to 45. And if you have an LCD Steam Deck, consider locking it to 40 instead of 45. The faster memory really helps on this one, on the OLED. But as you can see, it's still not 100% perfect. And if you run into crashes with Vulkan, well, you have to settle with the X11. Personally, again, the X11 just had issues for me. Just stuttering and instability everywhere. So yeah, if you have that issue and the game crashes on Vulkan for any reason, maybe you put the textures on high instead of medium and the game crashes. Put SteamDeck equals 1 instead of equals 0, so it resets the settings. And then you can try it again by putting the command that I told you at the beginning. But when I usually, again, drop frames is when there is lots of zombies on screen. Outside of those moments, it can get pretty taxing. Yeah, you can also lower textures to low, actually. We're pretty memory limited at the moment. It's using 10 GB of RAM and 5 GB of VRAM. That's probably why we get that drop into the 30s at times. That lasts like a couple seconds. Now we got yet another big battle. which, in my opinion, this is what the game is advertised for. Most people play the game due to this. And it's a slightly smaller area than the one that I showed you at the beginning. But the zombies are there. You also have a mortar. But I really enjoyed playing this game. Nowadays it has lots more content than at the beginning. You even have a horde mode if you're interested in just holding an area with multiple rounds, like in COD Zombies in that regard. But it's not the same as COD Zombies, obviously. It feels more like Left 4 Dead, which I think is a good thing. But with the settings that I showed you on 90% resolution scale, you should be good to go on Vulkan. Again, you need that command to be able to choose Vulkan. You just need to tell the game, hey, I'm not on a SteamDeck. And that basically allows you to choose Vulkan over the X11. So way better CPU performance, way better stability. And if the game crashes for you on Vulkan, you need to put the command in SteamDeck =1, relaunch the game, and try again. Hopefully you don't get any crashes at that point. With the latest SteamOS, with the virtual memory thing, the VRAM, when you're memory limited, it should be more stable. Right now, I highly recommend this game on SteamDeck, locked to 45 on the OLED and locked to 40 on the LCD, because it's pretty stable most of the time, and I think it works perfectly fine. It's just, I don't get how it's verified when it's forced to the X11, just because of how unstable it is on the X11. There's a crazy amount of stutter. So it uses less VRAM on the X11, but at the same time, I'd trade using more VRAM if it means more stability. So yeah, that's my advice. In the previous video, there wasn't such a lock. You would just use the X11. Before the Steam Deck verification, you could choose the X11 on Vulkan. Now you have to tell the game that you're not on a Steam Deck in order to do that. So not sure why they did it. I've been playing on Vulkan since the beginning, and at some point there were crashes on Vulkan just by firing one shot. But after they fixed that, it was completely fine. And they changed that options menu. And the new DLC, this seems to be when it dropped the most for me. In this area that has like a sandstorm, plus the zombies going full throttle. So yeah, that's basically what I think. I think you should definitely play it on Steam Deck. The DLC seems to be pretty stable in comparison to some of the main levels in the game. But I think it's a very complete package right now, and you can get it for very cheap. Usually on Steam summer sales, and you can usually get it for very cheap. Just keep in mind that there's 2 episodes that are DLC, paid DLC. This one in this case is the Vegas DLC, which is the newest one. That adds 3 new episodes, 3 new chapters in 1 episode. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did revisiting World War Z on Steam Deck. I'm pretty impressed that we can do 45 considering the amount of zombies on screen. And thanks again to Saber Interactive for providing a code for the Vegas DLC. That's super appreciated. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys. Thanks for watching.